Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Gold Coast Podcast. Today I have another big baller in the house, one of my good friends, Clifton Mack. Clifton has a really cool story, you know, like many men who are a little unsure of themselves, dealing with weight issues or depression. Clifton went through the ringer, and in a fast time period and a rapid pace, he completely changed his life, physically, mentally, spiritually, and today he's priding himself on helping other men tackle that journey as well with his incredible business, booming business, Alpha Male and Wellness. Thanks for jumping on, dude.
Thanks, man.
Excited to chat with you.
It's good to hang, man. Screw the cameras here. We're just here to chop it up and bullshit a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm a little jealous of you, but let's talk about Andrew Tate real quick.
Okay.
So we're privileged that we get to go to the, Patrick Bet-David's Cigar Lounge, and we get these cool invites here and there. So I got to watch Tate on the podcast recently, but I had to leave early. I didn't get a chance to mingle with him. How was it mingling with him and his brother?
Man, he's authentic, I mean, and you would guess that just because I think that's his power. His power is he's real. And that's, I think, the way you and I both try and be is it's like, no, you never sacrifice your authenticity. But to that note, it was fun, man. When he dabbed me up, it was as if we were boys already. I was like, this guy's freaking cool. Yeah. I got to sit next to Tristan for 3 hours during the podcast. He was just a spectator. But we were elbowing each other and tapping each other and laughing and be like, oh, that's hilarious, as if we were boys. It was kind of weird. It was awesome, though.
I like, so Tate, I can always tell when a guy's IQ is off the charts. He's exceptionally intelligent. I don't know if you know this or not. I was doing a little research on him. I think his dad was a grandmaster chess player.
Chess.
There's no way those genes didn't come down to him.
Guess what about
genius.
Trump? Same freaking thing.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. His father had some chess playing?
Yep, and
Wow.
Trump is a master chess player too.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. That says something. I remember, dude, I was a fan of Trump ever since, what was this TV show called?
The Apprentice.
The Apprentice. And I remember, because I used to work for somebody that I did not admire, and I remember I used to watch The Apprentice, and I remember saying to myself, I wish I worked for someone as brilliant as him. I mean, I saw this 20 years ago, Let's talk about the business, Alpha Male and Wellness. I think a cool way to talk about it is you're not just a business person in it to make money. You're clearly in this to change a lot of men's lives. Where did this journey start for you?
Oh, thank you. It just started, I was lost for a long time. I've been a serial entrepreneur since I was 21, various businesses, various levels of success. Most of them failed at some point, which, therein where it was the adaptation and the learning. But I hit a point where I was lost. I had a business that was paying the bills. We owned a cleaning company that my wife started, and I took it over and turned it into a nice little business that cash flowed for us. And I got super comfortable and super depressed. It's crazy. Men always have to be progressing. And I wasn't. And I also felt like I was underachieving massively. And so I took up golf. I expanded golfing, I'll put it that way. I was golfing 3-4 days a week, and we lived on a golf course. And essentially, I didn't tell anyone this, but I was just hiding. I was on that golf course because I needed to feel like I was doing something, or I was associating with people. I was getting stimulation, and I was depressed. I was drinking every day. I was eating too much. I was not going to the gym. I was just slipping into all those patterns of depression. We medicate ourselves with all the wrong medication. And I finally got, matter of fact, we're on a podcast. I'll get real and honest here. I tried to join a very prestigious golf club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, called the Dunes Club. I'll put them on blast. And I was temporary acceptance for about 2 months, integrated the family. It's the IT club to be a part of. And so I'm at all the events. My kids are at all the events. I'm golfing. I'm making friends with everybody. Fast forward 2 months later, I became the first person in 2 years to be turned down.
Wow.
And to ensure that I wasn't turned down, I bought a $22,000 share of stock, which no one does. So I was a stockholder, and they turned me down.
Wow.
And I didn't find out for years later, but it was because some old lady on the board didn't like my hair. But all my boys in the club and my sponsor never stood up for me. And she was able to sway the vote. And I took it as, first of all, forget the disrespect. It was massive. But it was the most embarrassing thing of my life. And I know that sounds weird to some people, but Myrtle Beach is a small town. And it is a big discrepancy in income levels there.
Oh, that's major rejection.
Major.
For sure. I get
major.
It. Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. My kids, I'm talking kindergarten, first grade, second grade, we're getting asked about our rejection at school by their friends. Wow. The parties, the birthday parties, the celebrations, they weren't getting invited to anymore. I mean, it was shame on your name. It was literally for 6 months. It was the topic. It was the topic. And we thought about moving. We just moved there 6 months earlier. And we were considering fleeing the city. And I said, fuck that. And I felt so much disrespect that I said, screw this. I'm taking my self-respect. I'm taking my dignity back. I'm changing my life. And I read a book, got obsessed with biochemistry and metabolism. I've always struggled with weight. Always been in the gym. Arnold Schwarzenegger was my hero forever. And but I never could put the diet piece together. I always thought that God gave me a slow metabolism. I read a book that told me that was not the case, and it helped me realize the lies that we've all been taught to believe were lies. And right as I was gearing up to implement all these things, my buddy, my gym partner, says, "Hey, I'm entering this contest, a weight loss challenge for $50,000. It's a before and after photo competition, and it starts tonight at midnight. You want to do it with me? This will be fun. We'll motivate each other." And I said, "I'm going to do it with you, but I'm not doing it for fun. I'm going to win this thing." And he goes, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "No, I'm going to win." And it was a 8-week challenge. I lost 45 pounds in 56 days. And the cool thing is I knew I had an edge. I was very strong. I was 298 pounds, but the muscle was all underneath that fat. And so I knew that if I could lose 45 pounds, it would look like 90. And that's exactly what happened. And my before and after photos, I mean, I blew the whole competition away, 40,000 people, and I blew them all away. Yeah. And changed my whole life. It was the hardest thing I ever did. And to do it, I had to disappear. No bars, no partying, no golfing, all that. And when I returned to civilization, just a short time, no one if they recognized me, I became micro famous in Myrtle Beach for weight loss.
I bet, yeah.
And my whole life changed, and it was so interesting to me that everyone treated me differently. I'm the same guy, the same jokes, same charisma, same friendship, but they all treated me differently. The people that didn't know me, not only did they want to know me, they wanted me to like them. And I was like, is this what it was like to be hot guy in high school? Like it was freaking weird. There were like even guy relationships. It was like, are they coming on? Is this guy gay? Is he coming on to me right now? I mean, it was just weird because I'd never been treated like that before. And I got obsessed with it. First of all, it took me a good year to feel like I was not wearing a Halloween costume. And mentally, it had to infect my brain. Like, no, this is me. This is the real Clifton. But quickly thereafter, every Facebook friend in the world wanted me to help them. And I just got obsessed with helping people lose weight. And after a year and a half, 2 years of that, I decided to open up the business and go professional with it. Because the truth of it is, I helped a lot of people lose weight for free just through my coaching. But I've had low testosterone since I was 25 years old, diagnosed with a 240, suffering. And you know what? It was because of business, because of stress. And so I knew you can't make that transformation without some hormonal optimization. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was on TRT. I've been hormonally optimal, but I had to learn abs are made in the kitchen, as I like to say, and so I brought doctors in, cutting edge, medical facilities, started building practices, actual doctors' offices, and around the brand. And I named it Alpha Male Clinic because, quite honestly, call it political, whatever you want, I believe the alpha male has been under attack. We've been dying, and the beta male is replacing us. And so, no, I didn't want to make it new to you, vitality. No, it was freaking Alpha Male Clinic. And we're unapologetically masculine. And it was right about that time 5 years ago where that toxic masculinity bullshit came into play and people are speaking that shit. And it was like, no, I believe we live in a free country because of toxic masculinity, because we told British to F off, and so, no, I built the brand unapologetically masculine, and I named it Alpha Male Clinic, and it has been the passion of my life. I did not start it to get rich. I started it to change the world, and I felt from day one-on-one with every guy in there that I'm changing the world. And it's fun to see it grow. My baby's not a baby anymore. I've got a whole army of coaches that have the same passion as me, and now they're the ones on the front lines helping guys and women. Now we just opened our first women's clinic called Alpha Women in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, congrats.
Changing women's lives, female doctors, female coaches, because let's just face it, hormonally we're simple, they're very complicated, and it's not one size fits all. Women have been lied to. They've been told for years that there's nothing wrong with you and their symptoms are being ignored, and now we're learning that there's answers, and so we're addressing that. But to get that out of the way, that is my business. That's been my passion. But that's not why I'm here, man. I'm here because you're my buddy. I want to chop it up with you, man. This is fun to me.
So this is juicy, right? Because this is when I heard what you just said. Unbelievable story. I was just having this conversation with somebody else. We're so protective of our children, for example, of being bullied or, being ridiculed and or becoming embarrassed or ashamed of themselves. And hearing your story, it sounds like, because I'm very similar in a lot of ways, it sounds like a little bit of embarrassment fueled the fuck out of you. And it was probably a good damn thing. Do you think that's fair to say about your story?
We have not talked off camera about this. You striking a chord, and I won't get into the trauma of it, but I was severely picked on. I had a handicap that the Shriners Children's Hospital saved my life at 12 years old. But from 10 to 14, I was fucked up. And to address that, the story I just told you about the contest that I entered, the end of that contest, I was running out of steam. I was running out of gas. And there were times I'm in the gym for 3 hours just trying to get my breath, just screwing around on my phone, just trying to get that next set in, and there were times where I looked into that mirror and I saw the bullies from when I was 11 years old. And I mean, without getting too personal, I walked really funny, and they made a song about me called Waddle Duck. I could sing it to you today.
And so you're heavier too at this age.
And I walked. My legs were uneven. I walked with a severe limp, and they sang Waddle Duck when I walked. And I swear to God, in that mirror in the gym, I'm hearing that song, and I said, "Fuck that!" And I'm pick up the weights and go. And I learned something. With men, we are very different than women, but I call it the "fuck you" motivation. Is the best motivation in the world. I don't just mean mentally. I mean literally hormonally. There is a chemical reaction that has to do with cortisol, adrenaline, testosterone production, endorphins that are more activated by the fuck you. I mean, and so no, it is a big part of it. Yeah. Whenever anyone's trying to change their life, I don't think one motivation really ever gets it done. I think you have to have multiple reasons to really solidify commitment. Yeah. One of the main reasons I changed my life, one of the top reasons is, my wife, 20 years, you've met Rachel, beautiful, ex-Mrs. South Carolina, number 6 Mrs. America. Yeah. She's a fox. And she married a shredded up, ripped, good looking, confident guy. And I gained 50 pounds the first year of marriage. I took that away from her. And I wanted to be I wanted to give her back that sexy man. That was a big one. You know, the disrespect of the story I just told you, that was a huge one. You know, I didn't love myself, man. You know, and that word love, without to go on a little tangent, men don't love themselves. I hate that I even just used that word. Our form of love is pride. We're not feelings creatures. We're like, Eric, you just need to love yourself. That's bullshit. Are you going to go get a bubble bath and convince yourself that you're the man? No. We are creatures of fact. We believe what has happened already or is what's right in front of us. And the way to build a self-esteem is to stack wins. Even little wins, big wins, to where there's a stack of wins. It's like, you know, you've seen my before and after photos. You can't take those from me. You're a great salesman. You couldn't convince me that never happened. I did that. Boom. That's a stack. I built a company. You can't convince me I didn't do that. I did that. Boom. I got a beautiful family. Boom, boom, boom. And so it's that stack of men need to have a stack of accomplishments so they can be proud. That is how we love ourselves, as we're proud of ourselves.
You know, it's really sad. I literally did a podcast earlier today with one of my clients. She's awesome. Does very high-end photography here in Boca. And one of her biggest challenges is that a lot of times she'll take photographs of, you know, kids, male, female, all different ages and races, etc. And once they see the photos, one of her biggest challenges is they freak out about how they look. And it's 95% of the time it's weight. So I feel for her because, you know, she's dealing with people's insecurities that have nothing to do with their work. I deal with it too a little bit because we film social media for people, and then they see themselves on camera and they get a little bit, you know, they don't like the way they look.
So it's like self-aware.
For sure. So it's what you're doing is, you know, we do need a national, and I'm right there with you. We need a national health prioritization for sure. So I love what you're doing. So you have the business. So tell me, let me ask you this. This is something I want to know. I feel like you're really connected with like a lot of athletes. Talk about some of the athletes you know or that you're doing business with. Can you do that at all? Or
I can share some
some
experience.
Because I know Rashad Evans. Can I say that name? I think he was
yes,
at the lounge with you the other night.
Yeah, and you know Rashad and I are working on opening a clinic together in his name. He is a dear friend of mine.
Cool.
And I'll just put it this way. I have taken every opportunity I can to get close to my heroes. It's inspiring to me. I also know, I mean, I have an extreme amount of confidence as a biohacker. You know, I believe I have the secrets to change anyone's life, including my own. And I do. And it's so much fun to, you know, I have some pretty badass friends here in Florida, including yourself. And you know, I've learned that it gets very lonely at the top, you know, and I'm not saying I'm at the top, but I moved to Florida from Myrtle Beach because I wanted to level up my friends. I tell that. I told that to you. You know, I mean, people ask, oh, you have a clinic here? No. Well, why'd you come here? I go, I wanted to level up my friends. I just realized, you know, in Myrtle Beach that a lot of most of my friends, you know, are just very stagnant, you know, and they're dear friends of mine. I don't mean to offend anybody, but it's like anybody that knows me, I've done it with you. Like, if you're my friend, I want you to be your best. I want you to be your best, you know, and I'm always going to bring value. Not only that, I'm going to bring honesty. My brand of friendship is honesty. You know, one of the bullshit things about women and I honestly believe women are like beta fishes. They don't even belong in the same aquarium as each other. They kill each other. You know, they're destructive. Yeah. And you know, you see some of these groups of friends and they just enable each other. You know, there'll be some bullshit cry for help on Facebook and it's like, you're a queen. Oh, he doesn't deserve you. And it's like, they're not pointing out, this is how you need to level up and be a better woman. Yeah. You know, and that's not what I preach. That's, you know, as if your best friends are the ones that demand the best from you. And so my point is I'm always trying to help my friends level up. I want friends to help level me up. Yeah. You know, there's going to be a time where you're going to call me and go, Clifton, you're fucking up. Yeah. And I'm going to go, tell me. And it might hurt, but I'm going to listen because I respect you. But I also learned from Robert Kiyosaki when I was 21 years old, be careful who you take advice from. Yeah, it's like, no, I don't take financial advice from broke people. I don't take marriage advice from 3-time divorcees. No. You know, I'm very selective about who I take advice from. And if you're my friend, then that means I respect you. I cannot be great. I can't achieve that level of friendship with you if I don't have that level of respect from you. And so back to the athlete thing is it's like, no, these guys have climbed to the pinnacle. Not to mention it's cool, you know. I remember.
I'd much rather hang out with an athlete than a businessman or a politician. You know what I'm saying? I'd much rather hang out with, Michael Jordan than some fucking senator. You know?
I remember, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I remember a couple years ago being, driving home in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I got Tito Ortiz and Rampage Jackson in the backseat of my car. It's just the three of us, and they're a little lubed up, They're a little lubed up, and littering, like eating snacks and just trashing the back seat. And I look back in the mirror, and I'm just laughing. I'm like, I was paying $69 to watch these guys in my living room just a few years ago. Yeah. And now we're goofing around, having little boy, 14-year-old conversations while driving home, at 2 a.m. And that's just, it's awesome. I mean, I was in Thailand, and I find out, Rampage is there filming a movie at the same time as I'm in Thailand. And I'm like, dude, he's like, come hang out with me in the trailer. I'm in the jungle of Thailand for 2 days, watching explosions and him, in camo gear, filming a movie. And I'm like, this is my life right now. This is fucking cool, And so, I mean, I was on HBO, recently, spraying Jake Paul with champagne after a fight, in his backyard in Puerto Rico. And it's like, this is my life. This is pretty freaking cool.
Let me ask you a question. I've been torturing myself about this for about 3 or 4 days. I really want to hear someone like your opinion on this, right? So I meet a lot of these big time people now, and usually they're businessmen or, usually they have like a big social media following. And I'm just a regular dude. No matter how successful I've become or how successful I get, I only know how to be just one way. And that's just like a regular guy. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm still the young kid who grew up on welfare with a single mom. Like, I'm nobody special, right? I just have a lot of determination and good work ethic. That's about the only difference, right?
That makes you special.
That's fair. I am special.
You are special.
But some of the guys, like, and I'll give a shout out to PBD right now because, dude, when I talk to him at the boardroom, he's just like a regular guy. He likes talking about sports. He likes talking about whatever, and sure, he'll talk business, but he's a regular guy. What I wanted to ask you is I've also met a guy earlier this week who's also pretty big time. And I was just totally my regular self. And, we had a mutual person connecting us. And he was so just, what's the word I'm looking for? I tried to like, what do you call it when you try to, he big time me. He big timed the shit out of me. And I didn't even recognize it because I'm just such a jovial kind of person. And then I eventually realized, I was like, oh, he's fucking big timing me. Like, what like, I love it. I love the athletes that, you're buddies with because, like, it sounds like you're just having regular Joe conversations. Like, there's no reason to big time somebody, But
no, and listen, striking up, everyone started getting in on my conversation, and we ended up sitting down. There's a group of 6 of us, some of PBD's guys, and I'm chopping it up, talking fitness and health and blah, 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 and 2 hours later, I feel a grab on my shoulder, a nice firm, and I look up and it's him, and he's like, I've been wanting to meet you for 2 hours.
No way.
I say, yes. Now there we go. We stood up. I got a cigar in my hand. He's got a cigar, and all the cameras started popping. Boom, 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 boom. You know, and we had a 10-minute real conversation there, and it was respect. And I was like, okay, he wanted to meet me. It's his room, it's his lounge, this is his night, and I wasn't gonna interfere with that. But of course, I want to meet the guy. You know, so but yeah.
Well, here's what I want your take on, right? Because you're incredibly alpha. PBD is incredibly alpha, but I've never seen him insecure around other alphas. He's that alpha, and there's nothing. He's that alpha that he's not insecure around other alphas. In fact, I feel like he wants to be around them, right? It's like iron sharpens iron. But some alphas, maybe I'm answering my own question here, maybe they actually aren't alphas because they get so threatened easily.
I'm glad you said that, because that is exactly fucking right. They're fake alphas, because to not be able to associate with other alphas is an insecurity, which makes you beta bitch. You know, abso-fucking-lutely. And that is one of the litmus tests. If you want to see, you know, someone's true colors, my wife and I, we're ex-Mormons, and we left the Mormon Church 13 years ago. Best decision I ever made. No disrespect to any Mormons. Great culture, great people, but we decided to live our lives the way we wanted to and move across the country and start over. And we learned very quickly that the best way to vet another couple, because as you know, most couples are actually really destructive and toxic, and they can infect you with that shit. And I learned about drink. We had our very first drink of alcohol. I was 33. She was 30 years old. And we started to observe being around couples when they get drunk. And we started seeing the fighting, the crying, the laughing, playing, the horniness, all the gamut of things that happen when we drink. And we made some connections. There are no angry drunks. There are no depressing drunks. There are no horny drunks. There's angry people. There are depressing people. There's horny people. It's truth serum, and people are who they really are. They can't hide it when they're drunk. Now, don't get me wrong. Every one of our friends has a bad night now and again, but 2 in a row, that's who they are.
Yeah,
that's who they are.
That's a trait.
And we learned to use that as a litmus test for couples. Is we like to get them out and get them a little lubed up, and see who they really are. See if they're authentic, and the authenticity. But I love to use litmus tests like that, putting an alpha in a group of alphas, and seeing if he enjoys it. You know, because if he doesn't, he's a faker.
Yeah, and that's the sense I got from this particular guy. You know, you mentioned something kind of cool too. Like, I'd be curious to hear your take on this, because I remember years ago, and I've yo-yoed in weight my whole life, and I'm different than you because I was the in-shape guy as a young guy, and then slowly over time became the out-of-shape guy, and I've yo-yoed for 14 years.
That was me.
Yo-yoed for 14 years. And I remember when I was home in upstate New York, when I say leveling up, it's not just dollars in the bank account. I remember I was trying to go on the fitness journey again, and I remember I went over to my buddy's house to eat, and I said, I'm just going to have the chicken and the broccoli. And he literally started saying things to me, what do you care? Just have this and that. You know, he wasn't respecting.
He wasn't encouraging.
It wasn't encouraging at all, you know. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to also move down here, was get into a newer environment where people were going to be really encouraging and are very business-minded and entrepreneurial-minded. There was a period where Alexis and I were talking about this because, we've gone like this the past 24 months, and it was a little lonely. I'm agreeing with you. It was a little lonely. It's like we're no longer have this mindset back here. I'll hang out with you guys, love you to death, but that's not my mindset anymore. But we're not at these people's, status yet either. So it's like this lonely middle period. But I finally feel like the past year I've met, I probably have 40 or 50 people, and a lot of them are in the community that we're in, which is awesome.
It is awesome.
Like, we're blessed.
I just got off the phone, literally that's why I was a little late getting here, with a dear friend that I hired. God, gosh, 20, almost 20 years ago. And he's been in direct sales. We've been apart. I probably talk to the guy once a year. And he was sharing with me that in the last 3 weeks, he's cut the chains of actually his family, and he's never been happier. And, he's realizing that he's been quite a dramatic story, being, beaten and abused and basically a pirate on a ship for 15 years. I mean, it's a crazy story. And I said to him this, I said, the term blood is thicker than water. Are you familiar with how that phrase is actually a lie? It's been changed.
The only reason I know of this is because we touched on it the other day, but please dig into it. Yeah.
Okay. It's one of the greatest manipulations of a phrase, of a quote of all time I can think of. It literally means the opposite. Blood is not thicker than water. The quote goes like this: "The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb." Let's break that down. A covenant is a two-way promise, okay? I know you're there for me. I'm there for you. You call me at 2. You know I'm going to put my pants on at 2 a.m., and I know that about you. Yep. That's a covenant, okay? That makes you a brother of mine. And the blood of that covenant is thicker or stronger than if we came from the same womb. Yeah. I was with my brother last week. My father just passed. I came back. It was a very emotional week for me last week. And I told my brother, who I'm close with, I said, I have like at least 10 other brothers. And no disrespect to you, Cody, but it's the same level. Because, God chose you for me, and that's special to me, okay? But I didn't choose you. But I chose him. He chose me. That's special. That stood the test of time. Matter of fact, in that trying, last 2 weeks of my father passing, I mean, these brothers, not only have they sent their condolences, but when I ghosted them because I was emotional, they hit me the next day and the next day. And then they're sending me voicemails. Bro, I just needed you to hear my voice. I don't need you to respond. I don't care if you respond. I'm here. And they wouldn't leave me the fuck alone. And that is a brother, Yeah. And I feel very blessed, to have. I left my family 13 years ago, moved across the country. It was very hard to leave the Mormon church. It's a great cult, but it's a cult, and it's your family, it's your friends, it's your business, it's everything. And the only way we really could have truly lived our lives and started over is to just remove ourselves. And that's what we did. But it left us alone. No, nobody to help with the kids, no family to visit. But we have dear sets of friends that we're together for every holiday, just like family. We're holding hands around the table. We're praying. We're at each other's kids' events. But that's my chosen family, and it's so, so special to me. No one should ever discount that. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Yeah, it's really good. So I don't know if you know my upbringing, but I had a single mom. So I grew up without a father. I didn't have any siblings, so I didn't know any grandparents. And we were on welfare. She eventually became a nurse. She did all right by the time I got to high school. I had an aunt and uncle that I didn't know. My mom hid me from them. They were both crack cocaine addicts. I mean, just, both died at a really early age, And so I never, the concept of family for me is so foreign, or it was so foreign, right? And, now, I met Alexis 6 years ago, fell in love with her, and thank God she has a very strong family. Her mom and her dad love each other to death. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law both work here. And, even though I'm not blood related to them, I'm way closer with them than I ever was even my own single mom. So I agree with you. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, tell me what's going on. I want to hear more about, you talked about this.
Yeah.
Why? What's happened, man?
Well, I think a lot of business people, I'm not saying I'm the perfect business person by any means, but there's 3 things that I commit to and I do very well. Number 1 is sales. That's at the hierarchy of everything. I can usually influence someone in front of me, or I can influence employees as well. So I don't look at sales. I guess I should call it persuasion, right? So I'm good at persuading people to do business with me, but I'm also good at persuading people why they should work with Eric and come along this journey with me. I'm an unbelievable recruiter. Unbelievable. I feel like they talk about Pat Riley. If Pat Riley sits with an athlete in Miami, they're going to sign.
Yep.
That's how I feel with my recruiting. If I get in the room with them, they're coming to work with me. Make sense?
Yeah.
So persuasion. Number 2 is, obviously, I know digital marketing. It's all I've done for 25 years, right? So it's like, whether it's Google or YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is, every recipe is a little bit different. And you just have to use searchability and socials, paid ads, et cetera. There's certain levers certain businesses will press to get business. I have our recipe down. Like it's pretty solid. But then the third thing is, and not a lot of businesses are good at this, business development. The way I look at business development is trying to find partnerships, strategic alliances that help you penetrate other people's networks. So I know thousands of people, and all those people that have messaged you and text messaged you are probably all business people. And I know at some point in the future, Clifton will probably connect me with somebody else to do business, right? So I try to do that with organizations. So I'm obviously the valuetainment community has been wonderful for us. It's been a blessing. I've had to earn that like you wouldn't believe. I think we have 45 of their community members as our clients.
Wow.
That's a strategic partnership. To be blunt, I get text messages once or twice a week. Hey, Eric, this is so-and-so. Needs some marketing.
Hell yeah.
See what I'm saying, right? But that's a strategic partnership, and you have to earn that too, though, right? You can't just sneak in there. You got to be ethical, honest, and you know what? They got to hear unbelievable reports back. Even if something does go wrong, it's just like, hey, refund them. We don't want any problems, right? But then we also do a lot of work with chambers of commerce. So like the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce, they have like 1,700 members. The North Palm Beach Gardens Chamber, which we're going to start doing some work with in March, probably has, over 1,000 members. So we do some work with chambers of commerce too. It helps us use that organization's name to get in with their businesses. And then I have a bunch of other. I'm doing consulting for a print media company that's trying to convert their clients to digital. So we are white labeling all of those services for all of their traditional media clients to do digital media. These are all eight-figure plays. They're all 8-figure plays, right? So what I'm trying to do is a collection of 8-figure plays, sales, marketing, business development to hit 100 million. So if we can hit 100 million, clear 50 million, that's when I'll have the conversation, what next? But I'm just laser focused right now. 385 grand a day is my goal. That's $100 million a year. We're far off. We're nowhere near close. Let me just preface you with that. But that's the goal.
Like they say, if your dreams don't scare you, then you need bigger dreams.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I want to say it out loud because then it's like,
have to.
You know what I'm saying?
I literally, listen, Tate Brothers and I were not friends yet, okay? So I'm not bullshitting. But I told my whole coaching organization, I'm like, oh, it'll be very, very shortly that I'll be hanging out with the Tate Brothers. And every freaking one of them yesterday, you said it. You said it, so it happened. They said, you said it, so it happened.
Yeah.
You are, I'm going to interject a little bit on what you said. Yes, you can persuade. Yes, I'm sure you know your shit. Do I think you're the best in the business? There's no fucking way you are.
No.
But what you missed, what you skipped is you're a relationship guy. Yeah. And I got to give credit to the Mormon church. When I was a Mormon missionary at 19 years old in Las Vegas, Nevada, then the training they put me through, the first step in what they called the commitment pattern was BRT, build relationship of trust. And that is what you're the best at.
Yeah,
that is what I do, because, and the statement has connected, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it doesn't matter how, there's a lot of persuasive, snakes out there, but they got to know you're not a snake. On the contrary, that you're a trustable, likable, honest guy with integrity and ethics, like you said, to where they can be persuaded. They're open to be persuaded. And, there's in the Valuetainment Network, I've seen a lot of young guys, put their money where their mouth is, and invest, whether it's a conference or whether it's a membership at the lounge. And it's like, they're immediately give you their card. And it's like, it turns me off, man. Oh, yeah. And I try to, grab these young guys and go, listen, let me help you. Keep the card in your pocket. Okay. I hate the term.
Might as well be a gun. It's like, whoa.
I hate the term networking. Can we just change the term? If you're going to be good at networking, you can't call it networking. Okay. It's building relationships of trust. One of my, previous clients, big client, a guy named Adam Weitzman. He's a very famous billionaire, upstate New York.
I think I know of him.
Of course you do. 20 million Instagram followers.
Big Syracuse guy, right?
Yes, he's the Bieber of billionaires,
wow.
And a dear friend of mine. And we were walking to a Jake Paul fight. His entourage was behind with my wife, and we're talking. And he said to me 3 years ago, this is Clifton, he goes, I see what you're doing. You're doing a good job, but you need to double down. I'm like, what do you mean? He says, all the money you make in this world is going to be related to the friends who you're friends with.
Yeah.
And I went, that's what he said. And I had another friend, Jeremy Flores, good friend, one of my brothers. When he hit it, 6, 7, 8 years ago, I can't remember exactly, he said the same thing. He says, Clifton, you know what I'm realizing? He goes, rich men help their friends get rich. And he's like, so I'm here to help, man. Whatever you need, let's, call me anytime, and it's like, okay. And I realized, wait a second, what's better than me being rich as fuck? You being him. I go, hey, let's throw our money in a pot. Let's go on a boys trip. Let's go do some fun shit. Hey, let's all pony up for the jet. That's badass.
Yeah.
The only thing better than being wealthy and having freedom is to have all my boys do it with me. Yeah. And Adam Weitzman helped me realize, it's like, wealthy men don't do business with the best necessarily. They do business with who they like. Now, don't get me wrong, you can't be an idiot.
Can't be incompetent.
You got to have a certain level of success and skill. But that's what I've focused on. And so, honestly, man, I'm more interested when I'm at the lounge or when I'm in a place of just badass people. I'm more interested in a dear relationship. Yeah. I'm more interested in a 40-year relationship of a brother that's holding my hand when I go one day.
Yeah.
That relationships are everything. That is the gold. Yeah. And how great is it if we can do business and have fun doing business with our friends?
Something I strategically try to do, a lot of these young guys with the business card, like you're saying, they're just too thirsty. They're obviously desperate for business. What I usually try to do is provide some sort of value, right? So I have someone here that I know here in Boca, and he's a big shot. He's worth 9 figures plus, a very well-known name. And, I basically did a few no-cost service things for him. I say, hey, man, I just want the relationship. Come on in here. I'll take care of you. We'll do this, and that. And I got him, I have a relationship with some podcast hosts, some big-time podcast hosts, and I was able to get him on to a couple of these podcasts, like really notable ones, right? And these big notable ones cost big money, and I was able to get it, I don't call it waived, but, gifted to him. So I've probably given him, $50,000 to $60,000 of value, and he finally calls me up the other day. He goes, dude, enough already.
Enough.
He goes, send me a credit card authorization form. He goes, I don't even want to sign a contract, just run it. You know,
Reminds me of Mario Aguilar, the guy that connected us, you know,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like, dude, he's a badass. You need to meet him. Here's the meet. He's a badass. You need to meet him.
Yeah.
It's one after the other. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, you got it. That build through, just stacking
Yeah,
on
for
value
sure.
like a Jenga tower.
For sure.
Till eventually that thing just topples over. Like, enough. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
What do you think about? I'm very biased on this now. You know, you've lived at a few places in the country. Rate South Florida on a scale from 1 to 10 for business opportunities, friendships, lifestyle. Where does it rank nationally?
I came here not for business like we talked about. I came here for a better life. And I was right. It was a big risk. It was a big move. I was starting to be a big man in Myrtle Beach. It's funny that country club, the Dunes Club.
Oh yeah. I was gonna follow up on
They invited me 3 other times to reapply, and I politely said, "Fuck off." Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not cutting my hair.
Done. I was like, no. Now that I'm a man of status in this town, now you want me on the team? Nah, I'm gonna go start a new team, and I came down here to Florida. And my kids are happier. I mean, we don't even need to talk about the weather. It's amazing. Yeah. But no, the people, the mentality, and you know, politically speaking, you know, I mean, that's what Florida became after COVID. It became the rally point, and you know, I viewed it that way. You know, like when there's a battle, you know, any kind of war, you know, and you're losing that battle, and the retreat is called. Yeah. They retreat and they regroup wherever that place is, and I viewed Florida as the rally point. Yeah. For the country. And it was happening. People were going F New Jersey, F New York, F San Francisco, F Washington, F Oregon, and they're coming to Florida now. Also infecting our beautiful land. But no, hopefully we got most of the good people that in those places like that. But no, this is the rally point. And so it's all you need to know. Yeah. I mean, you have more open-minded people, more people, you know, it's been said, well, not said, it's proven, 80% of people, of humans, are not capable of critical thought. Wow. Those people are sheep. And I'm going to say that there is a larger percentage of critical thinkers, of free-minded, open people that have come to the rally point of Florida to where those relationships, those opportunities are plentiful, no matter what spectrum you want to be on. And it's an energy. I came here legitimately thinking that I'll put clinics in Florida. Well, I live in South Florida, and I didn't realize at the time that this is the birthplace of the anti-aging clinic. You remember, you know, Tony Balco and Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa and all that shit?
Boca.
That all started right here.
It was in Boca, right?
Yeah. That all started right
Balco,
here.
yeah.
And the science of anti-aging, which is an amazing science, it was born here.
That's right.
And so I realized there's a clinic on every damn corner here. Now, I believe I'm better than 95% of them, but I'm in business to make money. You know, why go fishing in a pond with 100 other people fishing for the same fish? It's like, no, I'm gonna keep putting clinics where it's more wide open, where it's more where it's more of a blue ocean.
That's interesting you say that, because what I'm witnessing about Boca is Boca has always had the reputation for being gray-haired, right? Gray-haired, older, senior adults, driving a Rolls Royce, right? Mm-hmm. I'm seeing it turn over. I'm seeing a lot of guys our age, mid-40s, and these are well-to-do people.
Yeah.
I think
it's exciting.
An alpha male clinic, I think you'll get all the 38 to 58-year-old guys.
And I do have it on the plan, but the plan is to come in with guns blazing. You know, I have just opened my 3rd and 4th clinic, scratching and clawing my way. Yeah. You know, 5 years ago, I'm authentic. I was broke as fuck. You know, I mean, 50 grand in my name, dripping wet, every asset. Yeah. You know, and so I scratched and clawed my way through my first clinic and built that up, and self-funded my 2nd clinic and partially funded the 3rd and 4th clinic. And, you know, so financing is real. It's hard, and money is not easy to get right now. Yeah. I can open a clinic for a very reasonable price, in North or South Carolina or Tennessee or, Kentucky. But if I'm going to do it, when I do it here, and I do have a plan, I'm coming in big, because I'm not coming in to compete. I'm coming in to dominate. And so look out, public, because when Alpha Male Boca opens up, it's going to take over.
Alpha Male Stadium.
I won't do it. I won't do it until the funding is right, and that funding number is double. Yeah. It's double because the money is here, and you are absolutely right. I love to see the influx of young people in Boca.
Yeah,
it's great.
No, it's cool. To piggyback on your political thing, here's my political journey. I always considered myself a moderate, right? Mm-hmm. Up until about 5 or 6 years ago. And I was just like, I don't think the government should be as involved as they are, so I think we should be, fiscally, I like the way the conservatives talk, but, I have zero problem with homosexuality or, gay marriage. And my mother was on welfare, and she used welfare to, end up becoming a nurse. I watched someone use the entitlement system the right way. So, I'm like, so socially, it was pretty left, right? And then what happened is during COVID, living in upstate New York, man, it just kicked me to the right for sure. And then, the jab came out with, all of the vaccines, and then it pushed me over to the right even more. And then, a lot of the craziness with, for God's sakes, sex change operations, allowing a 13-year-old to make that type of decision is mutilating a child, to me was like the most disgusting part of everything. I don't mean to be insensitive about what they're going through, but if they're not allowed to smoke a cigarette till 18 or have a drink of alcohol till 21, why are you allowing them to make a sex change decision at the age of 13? Right? To me, it just really pushed me all the way over to the right. And then when I really looked at all of the left and right and what they stand for, I'm 90% conservative today. 90%. Yeah. So,
but the sad thing is for Democrats, because I know a lot of good friends, I actually have some really good friends that are on the left, toward the middle, intelligent, shout out to Quinn. But no, I think where they really fucked around and found out is on the transgender issue, because that extreme left, there's a large percentage of Dems that aren't for that. And it's like, but the platform clung to it as an issue. And I when Trump was running again, everyone was talking about every policy in the world and why that's going to influence this and this. I said, no, this thing is over. Matter of fact, I had thousands of dollars in bets out, and I collected on all those bets when Trump won, because to me it was simple. It was like the transgender issue changed the whole thing. Yeah, that's the tipping point where they faffoed, and went, no. A large percentage of their own party said, we're not for this. I got daughters. I don't want that dude in the locker room that's mentally fucked up. So fuck all this, be sensitive shit. I'm not sensitive to that shit. Yeah. It's bullshit. Yeah. And I'm not going to apologize for that stance.
Did you hear what Andrew Tate said something on the pod the other day that really resonated with me?
He dropped bombs.
Oh, he dropped bombs. I got to get him. I can't wait to eventually.
He dropped bombs.
I'll get another opportunity, and I just want to chat with the guy. He's so brilliant. He's so intelligent. And I do think he belongs in a room with who they were saying he should be in a room with. Do you remember that? Watching the game, Dana White and
oh yeah,
he's on that level, right? He can. Who knows? He could be an advisor with his intelligence. He's so wild. But he said something that really resonated with me, because I this is how I feel. I feel that I'm not willing to get so aggressive about politics with my brand, because to me, Michael Jordan said the reason he never spoke out was, he goes, well, Republicans buy shoes too. Mm-hmm. So I look at it like, well, Democrats buy digital marketing too, right? So sometimes I don't want to die on the sword to protect myself as a business person, because who knows who the president will be in a few years. And you even heard Tate say it. His billionaire friends are like, I ain't investing in that country right now. It could flip-flop in 3 years. So do you think there's like, how do you feel about openly dying on the Republican sword, knowing chaos could occur in a few years?
It's scary. It's scary. And I mean, I've had people in my own company go, you got to tone this down, Clifton. And listen, it's not about Republican. I think, listen, here's where I believe. I'm an independent, whatever. Everyone's bought and paid for. Everyone's bought and paid for. Our Republicans are bought and paid for. Democrats are bought and paid for. You have to look past the party lines. So I can't even confidently say I'm a Republican because I see the trips. I see the wealth accumulation from public servants on both sides. Oh, yeah. And I realize we've all been sold out. And this is where the scary shit is. I just said 80% of humans aren't capable of critical thought. Well, 85% got a lethal vaccine. It proved it, 85%. And those 85% are now, 90% of them are liars. 9 out of 10 of them are embarrassed to say they got the jab. They all know. Okay, it's only the true retards out there that are saying, "Oh, it's safe and effective." No, okay, we know you're retarded. Yeah, but like 9 out of 10 people who got jabbed are lying about it. And you know what? I'd probably lie about it too. Yeah. It's pretty fucking embarrassing that you're that much of a sheep that you just tell me what to do, lead me to the slaughter. Yeah, and that's what happened. And now we the rise of the meteoric rise in cancers and all the problems now. I mean, honestly, without getting, shit, we can go down another rabbit. This is natural selection, So at the end of the day, I am going to die on the sword of truth, of transparency, of authenticity. I'm going to keep it real. And that has nothing to do with Republicans and Democrats. So I mean, but yeah, it's scary because you have to be super calculated. We're doing this for our families. We're doing this for our future. We're doing this for our freedom. And it's like, you don't want to get in the way of that, but you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. And I'm just not going to do it.
No, I do believe in that wholeheartedly, what you just said there. When I was calling myself a moderate, really what I was saying was I'm unwilling to take a stand. That's really what people are saying.
It is.
Right?
It is. It's exactly what they're saying.
That's really what they're saying. And what I realized was eventually I got to side with
Are you a leader or not? It's so funny to me that people call themselves a leader, but you know what? Leaders have one distinguishing factor that makes them a leader, and that's followers. You can't be a leader if you don't have followers. Yeah. So you can't lead from the back. And leaders have to take chances. I love this. This is fucking fire right here. In the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson. You know the movie?
Of course.
At the end of the movie, when they're about to win, but they're losing. And you see everyone storming there. They're going up the hill, and everyone's going, retreat, retreat. And the flag guy turns around, and everyone's turning around, and they're running down the hill. And Mel Gibson goes, I get goosebumps. Mel Gibson goes, no. And he runs and he grabs the flag. And he starts running. And everyone's running past him in the opposite direction. And he's going, no, move forward. And they look at him. And you see the looks on their face. They're like, what? Confusion. They're like, huh, okay. And you see their faces gain this, okay, I'll follow him. And they were terrified running away just now. And they went, wait, stop. He believes, I believe. And they turn around and they go up the hill and they realize they've got the numbers and they win. And that's the end right there. Yeah. Gives me goosebumps every time.
You got me ready to run through a fucking wall right now. Talking.
And
I'm gonna go watch that fucking movie and break
shit.
In
the music, I'm a big music guy. And the music, it's like, no, fuck that. Go. Grabs the flag and not a gun.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He didn't grab a fucking gun. Yeah. He grabbed a flag. And he's the first one to go down. He's not carrying a gun. And he is willing to lead. And that takes balls. Yeah. That takes toxic masculinity.
Yes.
Okay? That's what it takes.
And
no, I'm toxic as fuck.
Hey, do me a favor. On that note, if people want to learn more about how to be a toxic fucking masculine dude, how do they check you out and learn more about alpha male?
Okay. What I want to do, and I've sent you this video. You watched it, didn't you? Metabo launch. Yeah. I sell, so in the year and a half, 2 years before I opened Alpha Male, I got tired of repeating myself. Everyone was calling me, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? I spent half an hour. Well, I recorded my system. And truthfully, it needs to be re-recorded, but you're going to see the authenticity in this video. It's my program. It's called Metabo Launch. Okay, because I invented a system, or at least I stole from a bunch of people. I created my own system, and it is the most kick-ass way. You don't need to buy a damn thing to change your life, to get shredded, jacked, tan, and juicy, and ready for the summer. The answer is this Metabo Launch series. It's a total of an hour and a half long. 6 different clips, 7 different videos, and it will change your life. If you don't ever become a patient, if you don't ever see me, this video will change your life. I sell it for $99, but I am going to let's come up with a code. Yeah. The code. Give me
RBM. RBM.
RBM.
For rare
I'll have
blue
my
moon.
people program that in. So RBM is the promo code to where it will bypass the $99. It may say it's still charging you $99, but it's not going to ask for your credit card if you type RBM in. Okay. And because truthfully, I don't even have time to work with clients anymore. My business, that's all we do. But the friends of mine, I even told you this. I was like, I will not help you unless you watch that video. Because yes, we sell badass shit. Hormone replacement, cutting edge peptides, game-changing vitamins and supplementation. But there is no magic pill. You have to change your habits, your lifestyle, the gym. It's a full approach. And that is the difference between my clinic and everyone else's, is every client gets a free coach. But if I'm going to be your coach, you're going to watch the damn video, because I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for fun. And I want to brag about you. I want to brag. Hey, that's my guy. That's my guy. Look at him, what he's doing, because it's fun for me. There's nothing more fun than seeing a brother change his life. And so that's what I want to offer your listeners and the people that took the time to listen to this today, is go to metabolaunch.com. We'll put it up on the screen, metabolaunch.com, and you can get access to the program with access code RBM.
What's your Instagram handle?
It's at Clifton D Mack. That's CLIFTONDMACK. Of course, we have alphamaledr.com, but hit me on personal and reach out. I'm pretty good about my DMs.
Guys, thanks again for tuning in to the Gold Coast podcast. Make sure you give us a like, follow. See you again soon.